Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Crime is up and the number of officers is down. That's according to a 2022 statewide report by the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. New at 10 tonight, Kyle Simchuk is looking at the numbers included in that 583-page document. Kyle?
Well, this report tracks everything from rapes to robberies to vehicle theft. Last year, murders across the state reached an all-time high. However, the murder rate is still lower than it was in 1994.
A report this week from the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs shows violent crimes increased nearly 9% across the state of Washington in 2022. The state documented 394 murders last year, the highest number recorded since WASPC began collecting data in 1980.
And you can see that sharp upward trend starting in 2019 that we were hoping would begin to trend downward in 2022. It did not.
But WASPC Executive Director Stephen Strachan says context is important. Washington's population has grown.
We talked about this last year, but I want to be clear. The murder rate, in other words, the incidents per thousand when you factor in population, is still slightly lower than it was in 1994. That's not good news. It's just, I want to be very clear that the murder rate was slightly higher in 1994 when there was a very, very high rate of homicides.
Last year, car thefts increased 34% across the state.
Is more than 12,000 more cars were stolen in 2022 than in 2021.
More than 134,000 people were arrested in Washington. 16.4% of all arrests were DUI related. According to the report, an estimated $669 million worth of property was reported stolen in 2022, with an estimated $180 million recovered. The Spokane Police Department reported $24 million in stolen property, with $60,000 worth recovered. When it comes to aggravated assault, the state crime rate per 1,000 people was 2.5. In the city of Spokane, it's 4.6. Seattle has an aggravated assault crime rate of 5.4, according to the report. Spokane police recorded a decrease in rape, arson, and no contact order violations. The department saw an increase in robbery, burglary, and vehicle theft. 18 people were murdered in 2022 compared to 15 in 2021.
Now, all of this information will be shared with the FBI, and that'll become part of their national crime report, which should be published this fall. Now, you can read the entire 583-page document. Just search for this story on KREM.com. Mark.
Kyle, thank you very much. Tonight we are seeing new video of a confirmed landspout tornado that touched down in Wilbur, Washington during a severe thunderstorm yesterday. The National Weather Service of Spokane confirming the funnel touched down 2 miles west-southwest of the airport. The size of the tornado and the time on the ground have not yet been confirmed. On that note, let's talk weather. A much calmer day weather-wise after thunderstorms that we saw yesterday. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagu. Jeremy, today's weather, tough to beat. Any chance we can hold on to it for a while?
Oh, I think we get a couple more days.
We'll take it.
Yeah, right. That winds up about it, though. As we head into the weekend, big shift in the weather world. 74 degrees right now. We're quite a bit warmer than where we were at this time last night. That's thanks to a little more moisture in the air, a little less wind, and so here we are. Overall, not much to talk about, and that is basically it. I don't have much to talk about. Not tomorrow, not the following day, not the day after. It is just a calm weather pattern. Notice we get a couple of showers in that forecast model run. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Instead, I think what winds up happening is it's nothing but sunshine from here on out. Mid-80s Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday we'd climb up to 90, but I think we spend most of our day in the 80s. If you hit 90, you kind of just hit it quick and move on. But it's the weekend that brings me pause because temperatures soar. Saturday, Sunday, we are in the mid-90s for everyone.
My goodness. All right, Jeremy, thank you very much. And tonight we are bringing you the very latest on the Baird Springs fire in Grant County that prompted level 3 go now evacuations last night. Those have since been downgraded to level 2 be ready. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says crews are still working on the containment lines tonight. We spoke with one woman who was camping near the fire last night, and she says she had to grab her dog and leave everything else behind when the flames started closing in.
I noticed it was kind of smelly outside. I went outside and I thought, and I saw all the fire up at the top of the hill. Yeah, it hadn't come over the highway yet. But by the time that we evacuated, it was about a half an hour from the time I saw the smoke. It was hard to see in front of you. There was ash falling. It was scary.
This is a developing situation tonight. We will continue to bring you updates just as soon as we learn them. Happening tomorrow, the Spokane County Interstate Fair is hosting a job fair to fill positions for this year's event. They say there are more than 200 temporary positions that need to be filled, including ticket sellers, clerks, and barn cleaners. The job fair starts tomorrow at 3 and goes until 6 p.m. at the Fair and Expo Center.
From down there, I saw my husband running up. His arm was waving and started screaming, yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw the goat flying on both sides. I saw the bear in the middle. I for sure thought one of the animals would be attacked.
Caught on camera, a black bear roaming around an urban neighborhood in western Washington, even coming right onto Lynn Chee's back porch and heading for her 5 goats, as you heard there. Just down the road, officials believe that same bear tried to go after a donkey named Juan. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife confirming tonight black bear calls have increased in that part in the past couple of weeks. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The man arrested in connection to an 8-hour-long standoff with police yesterday refused to appear in court today. Police say 41-year-old Charleston Harper barricaded himself outside the Washington State Department of Social and Health Services building. He is now charged with second-degree assault, resisting arrest, and obstructing an officer. Since he did not appear in court today, Harper's hearing was rescheduled for tomorrow. Meantime, we are learning the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students will have more time to review case materials after a judge granted him a 37-day stay. Brian Koberger's attorney filed a motion to put a pause on the case, and this will allow his defense team time to review material from the grand jury that indicted him. The judge says the motion does not impact any other aspect of the case. Koberger's trial is still set to start in the beginning of October. EMTs and paramedics with American Medical Response here in Spokane have been working without a contract since June 30th. As of this morning, those workers are voting on whether to strike. Contract negotiations have been underway, but an agreement has still not been reached. The 2 big sticking points are wages and overtime.
Currently, EMTs make less than fast food workers do. You see signs out there right now advertising $18+ an hour. A starting wage for an EMT is under $18. It's $17.62 an hour.
2 more strike votes will be held on Thursday. If an agreement is not reached, service could shrink significantly. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone. New tonight, Idaho's abortion trafficking law is now being challenged in the U.S. District Court. The law makes it illegal for an adult to help a minor get an abortion without the permission of the minor's parent or guardian. The newly filed lawsuit claims the law is vague and prevents attorneys from helping victims of domestic and sexual violence who might be seeking an abortion legally in another state.
Can I even give that person all of their options?
The law went into effect on May 5th. It also makes it illegal for someone to get abortion pills for a minor without their parents' consent. In national news tonight, Northwestern fired its longtime head football coach, Pat Fitzgerald, after widespread allegations of hazing within the program. 11 current or former players gave explicit details of some of the hazing incidents, which investigators found were systemic and went on for years.
Everybody saw it. So many eyes. I mean, there were so many players and nobody did anything. And they just let this go on for years.
In a statement following his firing, Fitzgerald was defiant, saying, quote, he had no knowledge whatsoever of any form of hazing and that he was surprised that he was terminated. Meantime, the disgraced CEO of Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, is on track to be released from prison 2 years early. Holmes is 6 weeks into an 11-year sentence for duping investigators in a blood testing hoax, or investors rather. Her sentence hasn't actually changed, but under federal government guidelines, time can be reduced for good behavior. Charles Manson follower Leslie Van Houten was released from prison after serving 53 years for the infamous murders of Rosemary and Lino LaBianca. According to the California Department of Corrections, Van Houten was released to parole supervision. He was originally sentenced to life in prison for helping Manson carry out the murders back in 1969. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky received a standing ovation as the NATO summit kicked off today in Lithuania. But his message was one of outrage as he blasted the alliance for not presenting a timeline for when Ukraine can join. NATO allies say adding the country would put the alliance into direct confrontation with Russia. Meantime, Russia has noted the activity of this summit. A spokesperson said the country is prepared to take, quote, countermeasures, but wasn't specific on what those might be.